eat, or drink, or go.
Not right now. Now. Stick to your own kind is my advice. The town is poor. This room is...
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn. And I without my compass. The ship is in the locker. On the bottom and yet...
Oh, forget.
Can you hear? Perhaps I am already mad. But
She buries her head in...
Make it stop!
You got that right.
And honestly, you can trust me. I can see a sorcerer from a mile away. And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander.
Who rings the bell?
Right about that. Right as rain, you.
Stick to your own kind is my advice. You really don't have to look that far.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Oh, forget it.
Doesn't this room strike you as eerie? But, of course, I should hold my tongue and stand...
Here now. When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, madam? Ah, so it's dear Prudence who's responsible for our... Still, no harm done, I suppose. I may as well introduce myself. That travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a travelling man?
He laughs, heart.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my boots would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am travelling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon. A celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious. I go because it is every citizen's duty. Our communal... That said, I do have more as a merchant. It is quite my favourite day of the year. Of course they are. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need... The merchant's burden, you see. He must escort his music to... If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
Got a pick and trance.
A lizard, tall and beautiful.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just the handsome gardener. I was in...
He gives you a cool look, then...
Not in the mood for games. Me neither. So, what shall we do? Would you...
His smile fit.
Is something wrong? Well, why didn't...
His look is equal parts non...
Well, you should...
With a shake of his head...
I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Yeah? What do you want?
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I
Huh.
get Alexander...
I want another beer and a bowl of stew. Which of us is more legacy that makes me a sinner? Perhaps you could Thatcher here as one of my dearest friends.
Thatcher grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Thatcher here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'll be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
Who rings the bell?
They look at you expectantly. Thatcher bursts out laughing.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting...
Thatcher doesn't look disrespected.
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go.
She turns back to her drink. She tips you a wink.
The bell still rings. Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
What a shame it is.
An absolute shame.
Alexander, slaughtered like a supper lamb.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick of...
You said it, Hilga.
I've never been
The bell
so
rings all morning
embarrassed.
and the tide...
Telling you, if you got nothing to add.
You again. I told you to scram once. Don't make me say it with my fist. Sounds something like my 15-year-old dog. Hey, back away!
Slaughtering all of them.
I've spotted something.
Look at that. A fresh face. And a pretty little kisser it is, too. Welcome be, Governor. Take a load off and enjoy Effie's plunder down under. Good to meet you, Governor. What's your poison, then? A sip or a smoke? Take all the time you need. Pleasure doing business with you, Governor.
Are you? No.
Down for a little scuffling and tussling. That's the spirit. But I've got to tell you, she'll want to talk with you herself before she'll assent to any challenge. Watch your words, mind. She takes against you, well, you better start on your way then.
In the shadows, a dwarven woman,
More fodder for the arena.
curling her torn lip back over broken teeth, she grabs your hand and pulls you down to the ale-soaked table. She glimmers in and out of view.
You need to practice more, dear. Try some pull-ups before you... I bested that void woken below us, you know. Ah! Based on your performance so far, that's cute.
Murga raises one surprised...
Ah! Go talk to the raucous one. Tell him I sent you. Then, up.
Figure it's time to prove yourself, is that so? Well, looks like the crowd'll get its money's worth, for sure. You accept her challenge, do you? Alright? Just make sure to keep the bull. In any case, you're in for a treat, lass. Better than sweet creams.
lifts your blindfold and nudges your nose with her own.
Nice to see the cub has some claws. And you proved yourself against my little chap. Come on, show me I'm alive.
She winks over her shoulder at you.
Nice show out there. Oh, this'll be a scotcher.
Looky, a champion. Good.
The dwarf bounces up and down with glee, then catches himself and clears his throat. He bows before you.
Extraordinary, lass, just extraordinary. The spirit of the one has yet to set in. Just praise your earning goal. Giving you this key too. It's an arena champ tradition. Takes you to treasure, it does. And only a champ can survive that journey.
The dwarf bellows out to all with,
I proclaim thee the champion of the Driftwood Arena. Get your glow.
No rest until the killer is found. Come on, lives are at stake. What is it? Unless you know something about the disappearances, leave me alone. I need to concentrate. The cook? She's been found dead, I heard. I thought she was another victim. My comrades know. Did you tell them what you discovered? Well, in that case, I might...
Much business today? Not much. People don't want to do it to us.
Hello, missus.
The little boy looks at you.
You be careful. My dad... No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here.
They stare at you in
You're weird. We were waiting for our friend. He went swimming all the way to Fort Joy.
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back.
That's right. I think he's an idiot.
that together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
Wilson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
She thinks of the board. What kind of animal sells?
Kind that don't fancy starving there around with the rest of this town.
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
I suppose you've heard of the disappearances around here, have you? Well, the case has been solved, thanks to a magister, or rather an ex-magister. Of course not. The likes of him was bound to be guilty of something. I don't reward cravens and liars. Now get out of here!
Come on. Can't I go and play with the others?
No can do, chickadee.
Hell with them! I need those reports stamped.
Right away.
You doing okay, boy of mine?
So journey forth and tread the proper trail.
Won't be caught dead.
You want an engraved invitation every time? Yep.
Gather them up, guys.
Humankind.
One more time. Please, Alexander, don't fish me.
Get her, Dallas. Get that sorcerer.
I'll saucer you, Dallas. It's off to Fort Joy you go, nasty sorcerer.
Never forget.
Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding.
want to play? She's outside the gates. I can't go outside the gates. It's when the wind blows from over. I can hear her.
She gives you a look of the darkest. A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hand.
Step away from the prisoner! That's internal order business. You do well to leave it alone. Liz, she's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker and she's a bloody traitor. She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her. And she wasn't there when Alexander fell. But White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them. And I reckon she got... What, now? She betrayed Alexander. I'd sooner die than free her. Never know what that guy wants next. Fine.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eyes are closed, but...
Welcome to Driftwood, Godwoken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well. Or, indeed, you could stand there gulping as if I just ran off with your femur. You might not have the brains anymore, but I pray you've managed to keep some wits.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her...
Melody is unfortunately mistaken. Because along with torture and interrogation, the Magisters found space in their schedules. They spent quite some time at it too. Apparently I was a rich vein to be mined. No offence meant towards your own venerable carcass, of course. They stopped the process just as the last of my power drained away. Just enough to rob me of my strength. I had hoped it seemed Dallas had ordered that I be held until she could do the deed herself. Now that you have had that... that delightful little nugget of gossip, perhaps you could do your...
The lizard grimaces, shifting...
I am in intense pain. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably cruel. How charming. Your bones are bleached by the sun, but not about your neck. No undead creature lasts long enough in Fort Joy to be collared. Therefore, you must have a mask to conceal your identity. Only an important person would carry such a prestigious item, and no one important gets free from Fort Joy without help. Now, an important person does not come to Driftwood unless they seek someone even more...
A slow, pained grin spreads across the...
Not quite as stupid as I imagined. I am head of the Seekers, girl. I can taste your... Now, if you would be so kind. My bonds?
The Meister bares her teeth.
Melody is unfortunately mistaken. Be quick about it. Who knows when that Magister might return? God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand.
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes. As if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and...
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man. God or even a reptile. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul.
The Meister slams her hand on the table, sending them...
Do you think me some moonstruck fool? Some tittering peasant impressed by the... Come, we've wasted enough time hanging about. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. It really is quite simple. In the corner, there's the combination to the vault is 15 up.
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push the button. Can you not see the button on the wall? Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial, gleaming under the dim light. The stone door remains just as it was when you last saw it, rigid and unmovable. You take your time trying to open the lock, but to no avail. No amount of shift. Taking your time, you carefully enter the compartment.
Excellent. Follow me.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
Feel free to look about while I catch my breath. Come speak to me when you wish to proceed. And try...
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? You would let the void run free so you can feel the joy of your skin sagging as you age. You would trade this... No. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us. The divine cannot use her power for anything else. When you become the divine, there is no...
For just a moment, her eyes soften.
It is no small thing to ask. Without a new divine, Rivellon will die. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the vault. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all... Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing...
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a voidwoken would be even...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
And do not lose anything. This...
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the black root. Thus, you gather up the black root, obsidian lance, and...
Are you simple? Perform the...
Opening the door, you see a selection. You explore the remaining ingredients.
Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the...
As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of... Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as... It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble...
My child, come. Come closer. My child.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking, skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back.
Time to open the eyes, speak the spell, and see.
God is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess...
You know me now, don't you, child? I saved you when the ship went down. I blessed you, made you powerful. Your God-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. And now?
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly. Dying does not. The void itself is hunting down the gods. We are battling for our very survival, and we are losing. Should we truly... Indeed, there is. To save... You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as us. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, eager child, before we discuss the where, we must first muse the what. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, to bathe in the lake. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. There you touch upon the void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the... Only she who claims everything will be everything. The void's doom, this world's liberator.